Technology today is so cheap for such good stuff. There's no reason that you should let the technology get in the way of you launching your podcast. Hey, Brian Miller here, former magician turned author, speaker, consultant, and podcaster. And welcome to Behind the Magic, where we do inspiration tips and tutorials for creative people like you and me. And this is going to be a really simple video. We're gonna take a listen to a handful of podcast microphone options, ranging from free all the way up to about $200. Before we get into it, a quick bit of business. I do host the podcast One New Person, my show about chance encounters with lasting impact. Every interaction is meaningful and every person we meet is important. I'm just wrapping up season 1 right now and starting to interview my guests for season 2, which is going to debut somewhere in July. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because in just 2 weeks, I'm interviewing somebody extraordinary. Not that all my guests aren't extraordinary, but I have the once in a lifetime opportunity to interview Seth Godin, the legend of business, father of modern marketing. Oh yes, Seth is coming on the podcast. And I want to offer you the opportunity to submit a question that I can ask Seth on your behalf during the interview. So stay tuned to the end of this video to find out how to submit, what the rules and guidelines are. Okay, enough business. Let's get into it. The first option is the free option, either your phone or your computer. Given the choice between your computer or your phone, you should definitely use your phone. Computers' microphones are really just intended to be functional for the occasional video chat or Skype phone call. But the microphones built into a smartphone, because it's a phone, are optimized for audio. You're gonna wanna find your voice recorder app. You're gonna wanna figure out where the microphone is, your primary microphone on your smartphone. This is the Samsung Note 8. I've got a mic on top and a mic on bottom. The bottom mic is the primary microphone. You're gonna hit record. And you're gonna wanna make sure that you get up nice and close to the microphone. Don't talk straight into it because the harsh plosives, the P's and T's that send a lot of air out of your mouth, they'll hit the microphone and it won't sound good. But you're gonna wanna hold it, don't wave it around, don't be moving your hand up and down it because this microphone in your phone is not meant to absorb any of those kind of shakes and rattles, bumps and taps. So just make sure that you are talking straight over it, and you should be able to get a pretty decent sound out of the microphone built into the thing that's already in your pocket. It doesn't need to be a Note 8, a $1,000 smartphone to get good audio. The second option, coming in at only $20 to $25, is a headset. This particular headset is an Mpow, primarily designed for Skype, video conferencing, that sort of thing. Record. And now you should be hearing the audio coming straight out of this microphone. These headset mics are really designed for video conferencing, Skype, that sort of thing. This is the exact headset that I use for taking all of my conference calls with my major corporate clients. It's the same headset that I use to get on video conferencing with my students as a communication coach. And I'm really, really impressed with the quality. But it was the first time I ever hit record that I realized, oh man, like this is a pretty exceptional sound quality going straight into your phone for such a cheap microphone. Now, one thing, this foam windscreen does not come with this microphone. These only cost like $1 or $2. You can do it as an add-on on Amazon. And they're super beneficial for cutting down the plosives, the harsh P's and T's that we talked about earlier in this video. My neighbor is mowing their lawn and I'm new. This house is new. We've only been in here for 2 months. I haven't had a chance to put up better soundproofing in this room yet. Hopefully you can't hear that. Although that would be interesting to find out how much isolation is coming out of this. So I guess we'll see. Okay, coming up next at only $40 to $50, depending on the day, is the Movo VXR10. And yes, you could substitute this for the Rode Video Micro. For the purpose of podcasting, either one would be a great option. Although, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a video where I directly compare the Movo with the Rode, specifically for podcasting. I've already done at least 4 videos comparing those two microphones, which I will link in the description down below. The primary reason I'm suggesting the Movo in this case though is because it has an adapter that can go straight into a smartphone. For this circumstance, I'm gonna plug it directly into the Tascam DR05, which is a portable audio recorder that, again, I've done a lot of videos on the channel, links in the description. So let's give this a shot. Okay, as you can see, I'm leaning over to make sure that I get as close to this as possible. The beauty of using the Movo VXR10 or the Rode Video Micro is that they come with a great dead cat. It's the fuzzy thing around the outside that makes it look like a little rodent or an animal when it's on the top of a camera. But if you just take this mic, plug it directly in to a portable audio recorder, which needs mic power on when you do that, or you use the adapter for the Movo to go into your smartphone directly, as long as you get pretty close to it, you can get a terrific podcast sound out of it. Let's move that out of the way. Your next option is to use a portable audio recorder directly. So in order to use an audio recorder like this that has stereo mics, you need to go into your settings, make sure that you are on mono. So you're not recording left and right, you're just recording a straightforward single source. And then what you're gonna wanna do is get one of these like $1, foam windscreens and cover it so that you cover the microphones, again, to avoid the harsh plosives. It's as you're starting to hear, it's less the microphone and more knowing how to use it that matters when it comes to getting good audio. So hit record. Okay, and when I'm holding the microphone like this, or the audio recorder as it were, I can do some podcast audio. And this is pretty cool. It should sound pretty good. As you see, just like the phone, I'm talking slightly over it, and I'm also using the windscreen to eliminate some of those harsh, plosive sounds. And this would be an ideal situation if you wanted an audio recorder option combined with a microphone. I have used this for voiceover work in the past when I was on the fly, and this is all. I didn't want to bring extra microphones with me. Just bringing this allowed me to get audio. So you can set it up on a mini table tripod, and that way you eliminate any of the handling noise of moving the thing around or banging into it. You might want to get one that's a little bit taller than this, or you set it up on some books or something so you don't have to like hunch over completely. But this is a great option for being able to get high quality audio with just one device. And last but certainly not least on this particular list is the microphone that has been clipped to me that I've been using as my main microphone for this entire video. This is the Tascam DR10L self-contained lav audio recorder, portable, pocket, tiny, amazing piece of futuristic technology. I've done an entire video on this. This thing is tiny. It is tiny, and it has a handful of dedicated hard buttons. It's got a record function that is a slide, so you slide and hold to record, so you can't record by accident. You can't stop recording by accident because you have to slide this difficult button and hold it for like 3 seconds. While it's recording, it locks all the buttons. It's got an auto mode. It's got 5 different gain settings. It has a safety track that you can set at -6 or -12 so that in case you spike or peak, you have a safety track that's lower that didn't distort, hopefully, MP3 or wave. There's a million options in this thing. I use 2 of these to run my podcast when I'm doing live in-person interviews. I stick one on me and one on them. The microphone itself, the lav mic, comes with it. It's not the highest quality, but it's pretty good, and it's got a screw-in system so it can't get yanked out. It's got a belt clip. There's a million things to love about this. It is an omnidirectional mic, which means it doesn't have nearly as that smooth, buttery sound that I was probably getting from using the Movo, that I was getting from doing this directly. Even when I was holding my phone like this, because this is omnidirectional, it's picking up sound from every direction. So if the sound is bouncing off like it is in this room, because I haven't finished setting up my my sound absorption, my audio treatment in this new studio, you're gonna hear a little bit more echo than normal. In fact, what you're hearing right now is my unprocessed audio, because I'm trying to show you this. Let me click back to the actual processed audio that you heard the entire time in this video until just now. Okay, this is what it sounds like when I have all of my post-production on when I'm using this microphone. I use a denoiser to get rid of some of the background noise. I use an EQ, I use compression. There's a variety of kind of 101, 201, 301 audio production stuff that I do on all of my microphones when I'm doing my podcast, when I'm doing my studio production. I hope that what this video has showed you though is that you can go completely free with no production quality and get a pretty good sound if you know what you're doing. You can go expensive with high-end production quality with a lot of post production and get a better sound. When you get buried in which microphone, oh, if only I could afford a better microphone, then I would be able to start my podcast. That's just fear, that's just hiding. Don't hide, don't be afraid, or be afraid and do it anyway. All right, I promised that you would be able to submit questions to Seth Godin, the business legend, the father of modern marketing, 19-time New York Times best-selling author, one of the most popular business blogs in the world. This guy is unbelievable. He's one of my heroes, and I'm just stoked that he accepted my invitation to be on the One New Person podcast. I'm doing the interview in 2 weeks from the time this video goes up. It'll be at least another month after that until it actually airs, maybe 2 months until it actually airs, because he's gonna kick off season 2. We're gonna start season 2 with a bang, and we've got a lot of other phenomenal guests coming on season 2. If you wanna submit a question to Seth, I'm gonna take the best 3 to 5 questions that I get. So here's how you're gonna submit. You're gonna send an email to onenewpersonpodcast@gmail.com. You need to be subscribed to this YouTube channel. You need to go subscribe to the One New Person podcast, either via Apple Podcast or Google Podcast, or you can go right to my website, brianmillerspeaks.com/onenewperson, and just join the community, get on the email list. There you'll hear from me directly, plus get bonuses like full uncut episodes with my wildest guests and some other great stuff I'm building out in the future. Put Seth Godin in the subject and I will pick the best handful of questions to pass along to him. I'm super excited. Thanks for coming on this journey with me, and always remember that our world is a shared experience. Have a great day.